As for the hope for objectivity, let us drop hopes for now, because this is a different substance. Let us talk about objectivity. It's inexistent if we are speaking about the coverage of this conflict through the screens and pages of Western media. I read a lot. I read a lot of digest covers, coverings, reviews, reports. I see how this balance of presentation is being maintained in African and Asian countries that have this desire to present different points of view in shedding light on the situation. They send correspondence, they cover the situation as they can. But anyways, there is an understanding that this is a complex situation, that this complex situation is not a unique thing, and the world has gone through many other complex situations, that indeed we all strive for peace and end on this conflict. But it is not simple. In particular, when a certain part of the global political establishment is ready to be directly involved and go till the end in the realization of the ambitions without being directly involved in the situation, but they are always behind the back of the Kiev regime and they direct it. I can see that this balance, this objectivity, it exists in the media that I've mentioned. And if we talk about the situation in the Western countries to the west of Russia, well, that's a different country, different situation. Canada, US, the European Union, many countries of the European Union, they are under the heel of the Western political mainstream, and we can discuss this for ages. But there is one very, very eloquent argument, I think, to this ostracism. The ostracism is being directed against journalists and media which publish the Russian point of view. They are then subjected to this culture of banning. They try to ban them, to destroy them, and this is a very evident demonstration of this. It's a very, very strong position against letting the Russian opinion enter European and Western media mainstream. So there is no possibility to talk about objectivity. That is why I didn't want to talk about hope. It's not about our hopes. It's about whether they need it or not. They are liberals. They have their democracies based on the freedom of expression as something that makes democracy possible, the primacy of liberalism. It's not primacy, it's more the dictatorship, but that will be discussed tomorrow. But indeed, we have this existential issue in the West. If there is no attempt to ensure the balance and the objectivity, but what we see is specific work of excluding any different thinking from the media space, what can we ask for? And I would like to add that it's surprising. Western media appeared in the southwestern parts of Ukraine on the line of contact. When did they arrive there? At the beginning of 2022 and before. Where were they before? Maybe you will answer me. The biggest media corporations of the US, of the UK, of Germany, France, and others, Spain, during these 8 years, they didn't have any of the corporations, didn't have their special correspondents there. And we know this for sure. There were no reports. They were usually sent through Russia, delegated from Russia. And as soon as 2020 arrived, everybody is sent to Ukraine. And why, during these 8 years, when 13,000 people were killed, nobody came there? Many times, Sergei Lavrov, in person, using the possibilities of personal addresses, attracted attention on Western media to these issues and invited Western correspondents. There was a report on BBC, there were some American reports, but the correspondents were elsewhere. You would say they were not allowed to enter, they were threatened, while those who wanted worked there. Italians worked there, and this demonstrates the point clearly. So for the third time I will say this: there is no objectivity to talk about in Western media. Was there any objectivity on Syria? Any other hot points? It has never been there. On sanctions, either. You know, they have to give the quotes, direct quotes of American administration. When Trump spoke, Mr. Trump spoke, it was not necessary to quote him literally, or you could add that it is all stuff and you might not consider it. But today, Western media have to listen to the European president. But then they have to say that the fuel prices go up because of Putin. It's Putin's fuel prices, Putin's taxes, and not a single observer, correspondent, or journalist on the screen care to think about what they are saying to the population. We see it all the time, and apparently Ukraine is just the last drop.